friggin' look at this. This gets me goosebumpy just being around the bottles, let alone discussing them. Now, no, we're not going to open all three of the 2012 vintage Billecart Salmon luxury cuvées right now, because that'd be a lot, and I wouldn't be able to drink all that. But while I talk to you about these wines, I'm going to drink some kick-ass, delicious, iconic Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé. A little anecdote, birth of my first child, this was the wine we had in the hospital room. So, wife popped the kid out and she was like, glass please. Ah, God, I was yes please. And we were all crying and stuff. But we picked Billy for a reason. Billy, I call it Billy. A lot of people call it Billy. Picked Billy because Billy's delicious. And the thing is, Billy was synonymous with Brut Rosé. They were rosé. They still are. But the reason we're talking to you today is because Billy ain't just all about rosé anymore. And granted, they hadn't been. I mean, Billecart Salmon, classic champagne house, established 1818, one of the great champagne houses, still family owned. And they were rosé, but man, things have changed. Every year they come in and bring in the new cuvées, and every year we're floored again and again, and then floored again. Stunning. So today we have to tell you about the great 2012 range from Billecart Salmon. These are brilliant wines of the highest caliber you could ever possibly imagine. And here's what we dug, because recently we did get to taste all three of these right next to each other. Hold on, I'm going to enjoy some Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé for a moment. Joy. We did enjoy all three of these. Now the key thing here is, the reason we did this offer today is because it would have been easy enough to sit there and go like, oh, well, you know, these two are really good, but this one was, you know, not quite. No. All three of these wines were exemplary examples of their particular styles. So real quick, I'm going to run through them. On the left here, we have the Billecart Salmon Cuvée Nicolas Française 2012. This is their kind of do-it-all cuvée. So this is a blend of Pinot Noir from Montagne de Reims. Montagne de...
Yes. Get your French R. Yeah, it's in the back.
And then the other part is all Chardonnay from the Côte de Blanc. So from top villages in the Côte de Blanc. I can't remember which ones exactly. I think Avis, Chouy, etc. So the key thing is it's basically almost all Grand Cru. There is some Premier Cru Pinot Noir in here, but that's not the issue. The issue is what a great champagne it is. 10% was, I think, aged in oak. Dosage is around 3.8 grams. Dosage quite low, but it was exemplary. It was just so textbook. You just wanted to drink it and drink it and drink it. It had all the classic characters of both. It had the richness of the Pinot Noir from Montagne de Reims, and then it had the classic stoic, that kind of the classic chalky, well, almost like sweet chalky yumminess of Chardonnay from the Côte de Blanc. Incredible wine, stunning. Then we had the 2012 Elizabeth Salmon, which is their upscale Brut Rosé cuvée, which apparently this started, I think, in 1964. They didn't start making this till 1988, right? And you're thinking, shouldn't they have been making like a high-end Brut Rosé super cuvée earlier than that? Well, apparently it has the work, you know. And by the late 80s, Billecart had become that great Brut Rosé house, and everyone knew it. Everybody wanted the Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé. So at that point in time, it was like, okay, we're going to make a Brut Rosé super cuvée. So the Elizabeth Salmon is, I think, 55 Chardonnay, 45 Pinot Noir, with a portion of that Pinot Noir from, I believe, from vineyards in Ailly. I believe it's Grand Cru still Pinot Noir from Ailly that they use in the blend. Also 10 years aging on tirage. These 2012s are current. Great vintage, current now. This wine blew me away. It took this and went like, oh, and took it sideways and vertical. And so you had a wine that had all the brightness and joy and the strawberry infusion of a great Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé, but amplified. I could have drank it forever. I could have. Sorry, there's Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé here, so I'm drinking it. Could have drank it forever, but I had to stop because we were tasting this one. This is Louis Salmon. Now, they always made Blanc de Blanc, but they weren't really known as a Blanc de Blanc house. But what has blown me away in the last probably half dozen years of tasting Billy is the killer Chardonnay that's coming through this house. So this is all 100% Grand Cru Chardonnay from the Côte de Blanc, 2012 vintage. 25% of the base wine here is fermented in oak. Oak's becoming popular, but neutral oak. Don't get me wrong, this isn't new oak. It's not, the wine's not oaky. They're aging some of the Chardonnay in neutral oak to give the wine more texture, to give the Vin Clair more texture as it heads into going on tirage. So you want more depth in the champagne, you want more richness and power in the champagne, and that's how you do it, through some of this neutral oak aging. So a quarter of this is neutral oak, all Grand Cru vineyards. And again, it's a wine that literally blew us away. We get to taste quite a few Tête de Cuvées. And this afternoon, tasting all three of these wines with the representative of Billecart Salmon was an eye-opening experience. The 8s were good. They were really good. We sold the 2008s from this range as well. But the 2012s are something else again. And then on top of that, he brought an older vintage of the Nicolas Française, and that vintage is 20 years old, and that wine was banging. It was just spot on, aging beautifully, cruising along, no worries. So do not be afraid to put these champagnes down for 20 or 30 years. 20 years for sure, that's no problem. 20 easy. More, sure, if you want to, but 10 years on tirage already, 10 years aging already, so you're already kind of there. Again, I can't reiterate enough just how great these were. If you want really something really special, buy the set, pick a little bit of each flavor. They're all 96 and 97 points. They're all top of their game. The scores are there. The prestige is there. And these are rolling like at like Dom Perignon pricing. And for me, it's like, do I want a bottle of Dom Perignon or do I want a bottle of one of these things here? Pretty easy call for me. So there you have it. A trio of brilliant champagnes. The 2012s from Billecart are life-changing wines. You need them in your life. And while you guys click, I'm going to have a little more Billecart Salmon Brut Rosé because I can.